In 2000, a young girl named Melinda lived in a quaint corner of South Australia. She belonged to a loving family, and her husband worked for a well-known Australian company. Melinda, passionate about swimming, dedicated her days to teaching the art of swimming at a local learning center. Despite the hectic schedules and busy routines, the family always made it a point to come together for dinner. It was during one such evening that their lives took an unexpected turn. As the family gathered around the dinner table, their children began sharing stories of their friends' vacations with their families. They longed for the freedom to explore, away from the shackles of their demanding jobs and responsibilities. Embarking on a family adventure sparked a glimmer of hope in their hearts. Seeing the restlessness in their children's eyes, Melinda and her husband realized the importance of spending quality time together. Amidst the chaos of their daily lives, they had unintentionally drifted apart. The decision was unanimous. It was time for a family vacation. The family decided on a picturesque destination, the seaside town of Picnic Point, along the Australian coastline. Sunday finally arrived, and the family was brimming with anticipation. Melinda's husband revved up the Jeep, and they all piled in, ready for the journey ahead. Their destination was a few hours away, but the drive was part of the adventure. The calming sound of the waves and the pleasant atmosphere of families spending the day at the beach welcomed them to the seaside town. The family found a perfect spot to set up their picnic and began soaking in the beauty of the surroundings. While some family members strolled along the shoreline, snapping photos and sipping drinks, Melinda and her husband changed into swimsuits. They waded into the water, feeling its gentle caress on their skin, and began to swim. Little did they know that beneath the surface of the seemingly calm sea, two enormous white great sharks lay in slumber. As they awoke to the commotion above, the sound of splashing water and the presence of humans piqued their interest. The sharks, driven by their instincts, slowly began approaching the noise source, Melinda's family. The family, blissfully unaware of the lurking danger, continued to revel in the water. Suddenly, with swift and chilling precision, the two great white sharks launched themselves toward the family, jaws wide open. Panic ensued as the sharks attacked, targeting every family member, including Melinda's precious children. Melinda, a strong and experienced swimmer, reacted with lightning speed. She swam fiercely, attempting to shield her children from the predators. In the chaos that followed, her husband and other family members were gravely injured in the ferocious attack. The horrifying scene attracted the attention of beachgoers, who rushed to help. They dialed for emergency services, and a team of paramedics soon arrived. Melinda's family was evacuated from the water, and first aid was administered while awaiting an ambulance. The victims were rushed to the nearest hospital, their injuries severe and their lives hanging in the balance. Doctors and surgeons worked tirelessly to save them, performing surgeries one after another. Tragically, Melinda's mother-in-law succumbed to her injuries, leaving the family shattered by grief. As Melinda and her husband recovered in their hospital rooms, the news of their beloved mother's death weighed heavily on their hearts. The shock and sorrow were unimaginable, and their children grappled with fear and uncertainty. The memory of that fateful day, the shark attack, and losing their dear family member haunted them for years. The physical and emotional scars were a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment with loved ones. Their story became a topic of discussion in the media, shedding light on the dangers lurking beneath the surface of the serene seas. Though the pain of that tragic day would never fade, they clung to the memories of their mother, grandmother, and the love they had shared. Ultimately, Melinda's family emerged from the depths of tragedy with newfound strength, resilience, and an unwavering appreciation for the precious gift of family and time spent together. In Japan's history, a young woman named Ada lived with her adventurous family. Ada worked for a company in Japan, while her other siblings had jobs in different places. She was adventurous, much like her family, and they often traveled to various parts of Japan, exploring new experiences together. One of Ada's younger brothers lived in California and hadn't seen each other for a long time. They decided it was time to reunite and have some quality family fun. The family unanimously agreed to visit California, exploring different places and creating lasting memories together. Ada informed her brother about the upcoming trip, and everyone was excited about the reunion. As the days passed, the family members began to prepare for their journey. Ada couldn't contain her excitement about reuniting with her brother and embarking on this long-anticipated family adventure. The family had their plane tickets booked for a Monday morning flight. The reunion was filled with joy as they embraced their parents and sisters after a long separation. Once they arrived at her brother's home, they began reminiscing about old memories and shared a delightful lunch. The bond between family members grew stronger with each passing moment, and they felt grateful for this precious time together. At 3 p.m., they set off for the seaside. Ada, always the documentarian, captured every moment of their family activities with her camera, preserving these adventures as cherished memories. As they strolled along the seashore, the family shared laughter and created new memories together. Ada and her brother came up with the idea of taking a boat trip, which everyone enthusiastically agreed to. They reached the pier and boarded a ship that would take them on a journey around the coastal waters. Standing on the deck, they marveled at the beauty of the sea and the serenity it offered. However, an unexpected and terrifying event unfolded as they sailed further into the deep waters. A great white shark, known for its size and predatory nature, suddenly appeared beneath the ship. The commotion and vibrations drew the shark, who approached the vessel at a startling rate. Panic swept through the passengers as the massive shark approached the ship. Amid the chaos, the ship became unbalanced, causing Ada and one of her sisters to lose their footing and fall into the water. It was a harrowing moment as the rest of the family screamed for help. The ship's crew immediately responded to the emergency. A trained swimmer on board bravely jumped into the water to rescue those who had fallen overboard. Unfortunately, he could only save one of Ada's sisters, while Ada and her other sister were left in the water with the approaching great white shark. The situation took a devastating turn as the shark attacked. In moments, Ada and her sister were confronted with the terrifying reality of their predicament. The shark's powerful jaws closed around them, and their lives hung in the balance. Amidst the chaos on the ship, Ada's parents and brother were inconsolable, witnessing the horrifying events unfold before their eyes. The crew rushed to provide immediate medical attention to the injured sister who had been rescued, doing everything in their power to save her. Eventually, the ship managed to escape the vicinity of the shark, and the family returned to the safety of the seaside. However, their joy turned to sorrow as they came to terms with the loss of two beloved family members. The unexpected and tragic incident left them in shock and disbelief. Ada's brother decided to leave California permanently after the tragedy. The memories of that fateful day and the loss of his sisters haunted him deeply. He wanted to find a way to cope with the grief and remember his sisters in a way that would bring him peace. The family's story serves as a poignant reminder of the unpredictability of life and the importance of cherishing every moment with loved ones. The memory of Ada and her sister will forever live on in the hearts of their family, a testament to the enduring power of family bonds and the fragility of life's adventures. In 1999, a young woman named Gia lived in the picturesque landscapes of South Africa with her small but close-knit family. At 23, Gia was a dedicated student, pursuing her dreams and aspirations with unwavering determination. Yet, amidst her academic pursuits, there was a deep-seated passion within her that had been brewing since childhood, a burning desire to explore the vast and enchanting world of the seaside. As a child, Gia's heart had always been drawn to the sea, its waves and mysteries calling out to her. However, her family, who held her dear, had refused to grant her this simple wish. But as Gia blossomed into a young woman, her longing for the sea only intensified. She spent every free moment she could muster searching for information about the oceans of the world. She immersed herself in books, documentaries, and online resources, learning about the diverse marine life, stunning coral reefs, and the sense of tranquility that only the sea could provide. Gia's family could see the yearning in her eyes, the restless spirit that longed for adventure, and the embrace of the salty breeze. Her father, a man who could never bear to see his daughter in distress, noticed her quiet sadness. He understood that Gia's heart was tethered to the sea, and he decided it was time to make her dreams come true and to see that radiant smile on her face again. One evening, he gathered the family together and proposed an idea to change their lives forever: a family tour to the seaside. The very notion of this trip brought joy and excitement to every member of the family. Gia was overwhelmed with gratitude for her father's understanding and support. Gia's university announced the upcoming summer vacation, and her heart leaped with joy when she heard the news. She rushed home, eager to share the excellent information about their holiday. Her two sisters, caught up in their respective lives and responsibilities, also saw the importance of this trip. They decided on a date, the 28th of July, a Sunday when everyone would be free from their work and commitments. Gia couldn't wait to experience the sea for the first time, and her excitement was contagious. She envisioned capturing countless moments with her camera, preserving memories that would last a lifetime. Finally, the day arrived, and the family embarked on their journey to the sea. Upon arrival, they felt an immediate relaxation as they strolled along the sun-kissed shoreline. With her adventurous spirit, Gia suggested they rent 2 paddleboards, one for her parents and one for herself and her sisters. When they paddled out farther into the sea, the calmness of the ocean surrounded them. The world seemed to fade away, leaving only the soothing sounds of the waves and the gentle swaying of their boards. It was a moment of pure bliss, a respite from the worries of everyday life. However, tragedy struck most unexpectedly and horrifyingly. In the distance, near her parents' board, a massive, white and fearsome creature emerged from the depths, the dreaded great white shark. It circled their parents' board, a menacing presence in the otherwise calm sea. Panic ensued as the board beneath Gia's parents became unsteady, and they were thrown into the water. With their voracious appetite, the great white sharks did not waste any time. The unthinkable happened in minutes. The ruthless predators devoured Gia's parents, their lives extinguished in a horrifying blur. Gia and her sisters could only watch in utter helplessness and despair. Their world crumbled before their eyes, and the weight of the tragedy pressed down upon them like an impossible burden. They were left with nothing but the haunting image of their parents' last moments. In a daze, Gia and her sisters paddled back to the shore, their hearts heavy with grief. News of the horrifying incident spread like wildfire, and concerned relatives rushed to console them. The weight of guilt settled upon Gia's shoulders as she blamed herself for suggesting the fateful paddleboarding adventure. Her sisters, however, tried to reason with her, explaining that this was an unforeseeable tragedy, an accident beyond anyone's control. But Gia couldn't shake the feeling that her desire for the sea had led to the loss of their parents. Time passed, but the pain of that fateful day continued to linger. Once a place of wonder and fascination, the seaside holds a haunting memory. Gia's passion for the sea had become a source of anguish, a reminder of the tragedy that had befallen her family. As the years went by, Gia and her sisters leaned on each other for support, their bond growing stronger in the face of adversity. They tried to honor their parents' memory by living life to the fullest, just as their parents had always encouraged them. Gia eventually found the strength to confront her guilt and accept that she couldn't have foreseen the tragedy that had unfolded. It was a long and painful journey, but she slowly began to heal. In time, she decided to pursue a career in marine conservation, dedicating her life to protecting the oceans and the creatures that inhabit them. It was a way for her to channel her love for the sea into something positive that would make her parents proud. As a result, life continued as it always does, and Gia's family, despite their tragic loss, managed to find their way through the vast sea of existence with the help of their parents' enduring love and memories, as well as the strength they drew from one another. In the annals of Mexican history, a tale of a dedicated woman named Eva exists. She toiled tirelessly in the bustling corridors of a renowned hospital in Mexico, where life and death danced in a delicate balance. Eva, though, was not just a healer in the hospital. She was a member of a family of 4 that included her husband, whose name has been lost to time, and their parents. Eva's commitment to her profession was unwavering. She worked long hours, often leaving little time for her family. Her family understood the demands of her job and supported her wholeheartedly. Yet one constant source of concern and tension in Eva's life was her husband's persistent worry about her well-being. Her husband, whose name has faded into obscurity, was constantly anxious about Ava's health and the toll her demanding job was taking on her. She worked late into the night, seldom indulged in moments of relaxation, and rarely partook in simple pleasures. This unrelenting dedication wore her down, taking a toll on their marriage. One fateful Sunday, Ava was at home, a rare occurrence in itself when her husband shared an idea with the family. A full-fledged tour to the seaside of Mexico, an opportunity for them to break away from their routine and bond as a family. The prospect of such a getaway filled the air with excitement, but Ava hesitated. Her schedule was always bustling, and she found stepping away from her responsibilities challenging, even for a day. However, her family quickly reminded her that freedom and relaxation were just as crucial as her medical duties. They understood the significance of healthcare but recognized the importance of nurturing their well-being. After much persuasion, Ava finally agreed, and her husband took charge of planning the excursion. The following weekend, they were all set for their adventure, traveling in a single car filled with anticipation. As they reached their destination, the seaside was alive with the laughter and joy of many people. They carried their picnic bags and chose a serene spot to sit and relish the moment's beauty together. Time seemed to drift away as they soaked up the tranquility of the sea. However, their day took an unexpected turn when Ava's family decided to arrange for a rented boat to explore the waters. They were excited and ready for the new experience as they boarded the vessel. Ava, always one to capture precious moments, started clicking pictures with her husband and parents. The view was breathtaking. The water glistened under the sun's golden rays, and all seemed perfect until an ominous change occurred. The boat suddenly began to rock, and they heard unsettling sounds beneath the water's surface. A chill ran down the spine of Ava's husband as he peered into the depths. Emerging from the azure abyss was a sight that would haunt their nightmares: a massive great white shark, a formidable predator of the seas. It had appeared seemingly out of nowhere, its sinister presence sending shockwaves through their group. The great white shark swam toward Ava's husband with terrifying speed and accuracy, as if under the control of an evil force. It had seized his body in mere moments, leaving the family frozen in shock and terror. Ava's parents cried out in pain as they watched their son-in-law being drawn beneath the surface by the ferocious predator's unrelenting jaws. The boat's captain, realizing the gravity of the situation, urgently called for everyone to retreat, but Ava's family could not accept leaving their loved ones behind in such a horrific predicament. They pleaded with the captain to do something to save their son and husband, but the danger was too great. Reluctantly, the captain turned the boat back towards the safety of the shore. The journey felt excruciatingly long as they left their beloved family members behind, trapped in a nightmare they could hardly comprehend. It was a heartbreaking decision, but it was made out of necessity. Upon their return to the shore, Ava's family was met with sympathy and disbelief from the onlookers. They struggled to come to terms with the shocking and sudden loss they had experienced. The thought of the great white shark carrying their son and husband away haunted their thoughts, leaving them with a profound sense of helplessness. News of the tragic shark attack spread like wildfire, reaching the far corners of Mexico and beyond. It became a sensational headline. The story of an idyllic family outing turned into a nightmare. Ava, who had been a healer all her life, was now in need of healing herself. She could hardly fathom the reality of her beloved husband's death, and her grief weighed heavily on her fragile shoulders. Ava's physical and emotional state deteriorated rapidly after the tragedy. She was admitted to the hospital, where she had dedicated herself to saving lives. The irony was not lost on her, and the familiar surroundings constantly reminded her of her loss. As Ava battled grief and her demanding profession's physical toll on her, her family stood by her side. They had lost a son and a brother, but they still had Ava, and they were determined to help her through this ordeal. The passage of time did little to ease the pain. Each day was a struggle for Ava, a reminder of the life she had lost. Her husband, whose name had been lost to the ocean's depths, was constantly present in her thoughts and dreams. She clung to their shared memories, seeking solace in the love they had once known. The family, too, found it challenging to move forward. The seaside excursion, meant to strengthen their bonds, had left an indelible scar on their hearts. They lamented the loss of a cherished family member. and the innocence and happiness that a great white shark's jaws had shattered. The family found solace in one another's company in the following years. They cherished the memories of their son and brother, holding on to the love they had shared. Once a place of joy, the seaside became a solemn pilgrimage site, where they paid tribute to the one they had lost. The tragic tale of Ava and her family serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the unpredictability of fate. It reminds us that even amid unimaginable loss, family bonds can provide the strength to endure. Ava's story also underscores the importance of self-care and the need to balance our professional and personal lives. As time marches, the memory of that fateful seaside excursion and the great white shark's relentless attack will continue to haunt the collective memory of Ava's family. They will forever carry the scars of that tragic day and the love and resilience that helped them weather the storm. The story of Ava and her family is a testament to the enduring power of love and the strength of the human spirit in the face of adversity.